What's happening, everybody? I'm back as me, a resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my review for Season 1, Episode 12 of Stargirl on the DC Universe and the CW. And if you haven't seen this episode yet, you should know the drill by now. We've been doing this 12 episodes. Bring your ass back because it's going to be spoilers. This is the penultimate episode of the first season, and this season has lived up to its hype. This season has lived up to its story. Every week you hear me praise about this show, how much I really dig it. And again, I address all your comments that you have about the show. People who've been commenting in the comment section, I address those because I understand some of you all feel like certain things shouldn't happen, certain tropes shouldn't happen, and I get it. I totally get it. And I am also that belief of we have to go the story a certain way, because if we take it too long, it'll drag out too much, and then people will be upset, because we've seen that. And we've even seen when it comes to the regular Arrowverse shows, how those shows have 23 episodes, and a lot of times we got to have filler episodes. Now, granted, in some of these different DC Universe shows and certain seasons, we have gotten maybe a filler episode, but we don't have to get so many. You know what I'm saying? Or we get episodes of shows that slow everything down. After it's been ramped up real high, they bring it back down just to get ready to ramp it up again. And I believe that's what this was. This is that ramp up to the penultimate. Like, it kicks off like, let's go. The fact Pat is getting his ass whooped in the garage by Sportsmaster. Tigers comes in and starts fucking up Barbara till Courtney starts whooping ass a little bit and then pop off with the staff. Like, these things are building up. Again, we're getting close to this big climactic battle between the JSA and the ISA. This thing that's been building for going on 13 episodes. And so now it's starting to ramp up. And then again, it's like, get you high, bring you down. Get you high, bring you down. It's a ride it's taking you on. It's on a roller coaster. Let me say this. Pat Dugan is a better father than I ever will be. Here's why. When he told Mike to put that drill down, and Mike yelled back at him, everyone knows, if you have a black parent, Mike Dugan would have been slapped halfway across that goddamn auto shop. He would have not been able to get that. You treat me like a child! First of all, boy, I will backhand the puck out your little teeny tiny ass. You don't calm the hell down. Like, but granted, he did ended up helping Mike, helping Pat, and after he was getting his ass whooped royally by Sportsmaster by hitting his mog in the kidneys with the drill. I was like, oh, I was hurt for him. But another thing I brought up before in a recent episode review, how it looks like there's an impending battle about to happen between Icicle and Brainwave, because Brainwave is like, I'm that dude. I can control anybody, even you. And Icicle's like, all right, man, listen, I just want people to live in a sense, but, live the way we want them to live. And damn, man, you got to kill a chick I actually wanted to be with. I'm like, yeah, so what? She got a husband, but I'd rather be with her to pick up my life. And you have this. And also, speaking of Brainwave, did anybody else notice besides me that the machine that Dr. Ito built him, though we saw the satellites on top, right, to the amplifier, the synaptic amplifier, did anybody get the feeling when he walked in and sat down was like, this motherfucker built Cerebro? Like, he just built a Cerebro with lightning. Like, somebody was watching the X-Men movies and was like, yo, so I got an idea. Hear me out. So this machine, right, is going to amplify Brainwave's abilities, right? What if it just somehow looked like Cerebro? What do you think? I just thought about that and I was like, that's hilarious. And the fact Dr. Ito was so cool was like, here's some things. Either this is gonna work, or all the cells in your prefrontal cortex and your spinal cord are gonna turn to mush. Plain simple. Like, you're gonna die. I mean, but you want to keep doing, and didn't stop when he was telling them the risk. Like, he was like, so here's something that may actually happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You might actually get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But listen, it's all in the benefit of everything. And you have that to see Mike finally seeing S.T.R.I.P.E, going back to Mike and Pat, Mike seeing S.T.R.I.P.E, and the fact Pat got S.T.R.I.P.E controlled by remote control on a flip phone. I'm like, yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. To see when they get to the cabin that Pat helps Rick finally figure out the clue to the notebook, which I'm surprised throughout the entire season we never thought about the car being the number. It was this big MacGuffin that we forgot about when we were introduced to Rick in a situation with his uncle and talking about the car was the one thing we forgot about. I mean, if you actually remember that, that could have been the answer. Yo, you're dope. I completely forgot about the car. To see, to also have Beth and Barbara go to the America First and try to hack the ISA, and the gambler hacks they hack was kind of dope. But yo, when they found out their new constitution was like, yeah, we want to get health care for everybody. Yeah, no racism, no sexism and hate. They was like, everybody was like, wait, this sounds like a good thing. Like, what's the problem? Because I don't blame Rick. Rick was like, Pat, are we on the right side of this? Because again, every time you have these villains, their plans are right in a certain way. It's the going about it that makes it wrong. Does that make sense? I'll always go back to Thanos in Infinity War. I know these are two different universes, but y'all know I do this. Thanos' plan was to make sure that half the population could live and flourish because another half would die off. However, even though just saying half the population dies off is kind of bad, and then to say you would just murder half the population is worse. But in theory, you're like, yeah, there should be, if half the population is gone, the other half should be able to thrive and flourish after they got over the hurt and pain. You would think that. But again, go about it wrong. But then when they found out that, oh, there will be people who will be resistant to the reprogramming and they'll die, and found out they're going to murder 25 million, they're like, yeah, it's just something little small casualty, little small thing to happen, small sacrifice for the greater good. But like, yo, I was like, fuck, okay. To see, yo, that's what I was about to get to. After you got Tigress and Sportsmaster in the crib and Courtney's them home, and Principal Bowen comes in after talking to her son, first of all, who told her son, like, yo, your daddy used to get picked on. You know how he stopped picking? He took the bow of his violin and jammed it through somebody's ear. And then Shorty looked at his tuba. First of all, you can't drive a tuba into somebody's ear, can you? If you do, I don't even think that's just straight assault. That's full on murder. That's brass. That's just all in the cavity. Like, yo. I mean, but the mama was so calm. Was like, yo, just, he took motherfuckers out, and that's what happened. But when she goes to the house, Principal Boyd goes to the house and sees Tigress and Sportsmaster and tries to tell them about their failures and tell them about their daughter, you know, basically not being like them. And Sportsmaster was like, yo, you trying to say we don't love our child? And she was like, no, I'm saying you unfit to be a parent. And you literally hear Tigress cock the crossbow and just give her one through the chest like, yo, bitch, you're not finna tell us we unfit parents. Which, again, can you blame her for killing Bowen the Fiddler? Can you really, like, I get it. I actually, there's another part of this I meant to bring up. Before Brainwave goes into the machine, he talks to Cindy, who's still locked up. And Cindy, you know, him and Cindy are arguing. And then she's like, yo, why don't you just let me out? I can help y'all out. I can be a good member to the ISA. And he was like, yo, we feel the same way your daddy do. We don't want your ass. Like, to your father, you're a failed science experiment. So what I think might happen in this season finale next week is that there will be this giant climactic battle. I think Cindy will be the deciding factor, helping the JSA, but not directly on the JSA side, if that makes sense. I think she's going to kill somebody, whether it's her father or whether it's Brainwave. She's going to kill one of the two, and then she's going to be, because I think all of the ISA members, the original ISA members, the way I'm seeing this, I can see most of the original ISA members dying at the end of this finale, now that I'm looking at it more. And this way, the second season builds off the kids of the ISA. Because Cameron has the abilities of his dad. We know Artemis is a hellified athlete and she takes no shit. You got Cindy, who has her abilities. The Fiddler's kid, the dude with the tuba, he may actually... Look, I don't know if you can use a tuba like a weapon harmonizing and hypnotizing, because it's like a fiddle, you just pick it up, it's this, and violin or whatever, and you're good. You can put the fiddle away. A tuba, you got to strap that bitch over you, carry it around, have strong shoulders and a strong back like you doing Focus T25 Gamma, which I've been doing. Praise to God for my soul, because it's so rough, so intense. But like, you can't just be, I'm going to destroy all of you. Hold on. No. Like, you can't run, you can't maneuver. Like, but I think overall, jokes aside, I think that's what the second season may be. I think it'll be more so the kids and Solomon Grundy. Or unless, because see, I think Grundy plays a factor. I don't know how. I don't see Rick just killing Grundy. I see Rick getting his ass beat. Granted, the show is only an hour. And I say that because Our Man's abilities are only an hour. That, and granted, they only have a certain amount of time. I don't know if he'll, I wonder what's going to happen with that. Because now we also see that the machine works and that Brainwave is starting to control the adults. And in the process, he has, you know what I'm saying, he got Pat Dugan, who's in S.T.R.I.P.E, who goes and swings at Courtney. Like, first of all, Courtney ain't superhuman. Like, she's a superhero, but she's not superhuman. So if that punch landed on that little girl, I mean, it's a metal robot, and she's a young girl who's maybe a sophomore in high school, who her abilities are gymnastics. Her power is just in that staff. Like, that hit should do damage. Cindy was whooping her ass, you know what I'm saying, with just martial arts. And yes, she got some knives come out of her wrist and arms like Baraka from Mortal Kombat, but she was beating her ass. We saw Courtney's bruises, so if she got them bruises, if S.T.R.I.P.E punched her, Courtney is unconscious when the season finale starts. But nonetheless, as we hit this penultimate episode going into the finale, I want to know what you think about it in the comments below. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. Y'all know the drill. Let me know what you think about it. Again, we've been having a dope conversation in the comments about it. Why people like it, why people don't like it, because people have been further detailing it and giving better descriptions instead of just saying, I don't like it, but we get more into it. And that's what I want to hear from you, all right? You already know the drill. Follow me Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, spelled below. Join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. Check out the Mad Titan podcast everywhere you get your podcast from. I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. It's barbershop talk for nerds. Come on in the convo with that. The Mad Titan podcast, just told y'all about that. Why was I about to repeat it? I have no idea. Blurs in the Hood every Tuesday live on the Blurs in the Hood YouTube channel, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast with myself and Winston A. Marshall. We go down and get crazy every single week, man. Y'all need to check out this past week's episode 29 with our special guest, the Outlaw John Roca. We called it Game Time because we do Game Time with him on Mondays. Man, when I tell y'all that show was off the meter, it was the best. But I will holler at you guys next week for the season finale. Take care. I'm out. Bye.